welcome back to my channel. My name is T and I love all things skin and beauty, and today it's again some Shop My Stash and some new products and a new palette that's been in my stash for quite some time. And I feel so clownish doing these videos, but literally, life be lifing, life be lifing, and then you forget that you got a stack of eyeshadow palettes that you purchased from last year that you haven't even dig your little eyeshadow brushes in. You know what I mean? It's one of those situations right now. But today we're gonna play with some new products, some old products, just trying to use up my stash. I said I wasn't going to buy any blushes or bronzers, and CoverGirl did get me. So I have the new blushes and the bronzers that they came out with. So I have this shade, which is in Berry Punch, and I have this shade here, which is in Strawberry Drizzle. I have one of their bronzers, which is Sweet Espresso. I'm hoping it should be deep enough. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. But apparently they're supposed to be dupes for Hourglass, and I have an Hourglass collection, so I'm very curious, like if drugstore did their big one, or because I have a similar palette that's from Sephora, from the Sephora collection, and it does give off some Hourglass vibes, just a tad bit, but it's just something about their powders that are just like really, unique to them. And like I see, drugstore really trying to, be on their big one right now, with kind of like the releases and all this stuff. I also have the Wet and Wild Mother Fluffer bronzer. It's supposed to be a dupe for the Furry. I think that's how you pronounce the Korean brand's name, but it's like a dupe from the Furry. They're like blush pots. I don't know if they came out with bronzer though. I think it's just blushes that they have, which, by the way, I will say that Furry and their range of blushes are really interesting, because K-Beauty normally, they'll give you like, at least 4 or 5, but they have, sprinkled some interesting, shades in between and different undertones and different variations. So I don't know, I might, but do I need to? No. So I might not try them, because honestly I wasn't supposed to get any blushes. I wasn't supposed to get any blushes, any bronzers, and I'm already failing. And I got my first eyeshadow palette of this year, which was the Byredo palette, and I'm just like, the Glamournatrix new palette that they just teased is so, I don't think I'm gonna make it, y'all. But any hoodle, today we are going to play with the new Natasha Denona palettes that I've had in my collection. These palettes here, the Eye Sculpt Texture Tone palette. We have the dramatic one, and we also have the soft one, which is here. So we have both. I might dig into both just because I feel like, why not? I feel like they're a great pair together, especially since it's from Natasha Denona, from the same collection, except it's, different kinds of like type of story, with, you have the softer version, then you have the dramatic version. We'll see what look I come up with. But I'm gonna quickly do my base off camera. Today I'm going back in my stash. I'm going to use Makeup Forever HD Skin. I am in the shade 4Y66. Ooh, Lord. and R4R64. It'll be in the description box as always. And then next, I'll most likely go in with Lancome, the Care and Glow Serum Concealer. And then, obviously my, Sephora and my NYX powder. And then we'll get started on the blushes and the bronzers. I also have this liquid blush, which I don't know if Unearthly still has this, but I found this in my stash. It's a liquid blush. So what I tend to do with like any blush or any kind of, powder product, before I even put that on, I normally go in with a liquid. And it's like, do what you want to do, like during like your whole routine. Like it's totally fine, So I'm thinking about just, doing that. So that's what I'm probably going to do. And then I'll move on with my rose ink. This is my stash as well. I don't know. I stopped playing with this, and then I discovered that I had this, and I think it's because of how like you have to open it. It's just a weird packaging, but we're also gonna use this for cream bronzer, and then I will also get started with the CoverGirl powders as well. All right, base is pretty much done. I just need to go in with cream bronzer. I'm gonna do this on camera because I don't remember how I felt really about this cream bronzer from Rose Inc. But I'm in the shade Capri. I think that's how you say Capri. Yeah, I think that's how you say the name. I'm in the shade Capri. Everything will be in the description box below. But one thing that I forgot to mention is that I also went in with my Lancome Le Base Pro. Y'all know I love this primer, so I have that as a primer. I also quickly did my brows with the Fluff and Fix brow wax from Sephora collection. And I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to go in with this cream bronzer because I don't remember how I honestly felt about it. So I'm going to go in with an Adept brush. This is the P6 brush. And I'm just going to take some here, like so. Making sure that I wake it up too because okay, we'll see how this works. I mean, I don't know because now I don't know how I feel about this. I hope that it spreads evenly enough because I'm already seeing like balls of the product like in there. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. And I did put some powder where like my under eyes are at. So it might, go on top of just, a little bit of powder. But, okay, this is not, too bad. I can kind of see it. But I feel like it's kind of stiff. So I really need to like dig in there. So like maybe now. Yeah, much better. Much better with this one. It has a nice like sheen to it too, but I don't think it's like balmy. I think you can also build it up too if you want it, but it is pretty stiff, so you kind of have to, really get in there to wake it up. But I kind of like the shade of it. Okay, I think this works. Because I'm also putting bronzer on top anyways, like powder bronzer. So I think this is honestly fine. Let me just go in on my forehead. I also put powder on my forehead too, just a little bit in the center. So I think it works honestly well on top of powder because I don't see any like patchiness or texture coming in from the powder being mixed with the cream product. So I think it's working pretty nicely. Maybe it was like honestly the packaging, I want to say. That was just kind of just throwing me off a bit, but it's pretty good. Okay. All right. So this is what we are looking like with the cream bronzer on. And now it is time for me to play with this unearthly liquid blush that I had no idea I had in my stash. I don't even know if I opened it. So it looks like this. And it's kind of like the same packaging as the lip gloss, which I don't know how I feel about, but we're just gonna put some on the back of our hand. And one thing that I don't really like about the new unearthly packaging for the you know, the lip glosses, the highlighter, and the lip oil is because they all look the same, like the packaging, so you can't really tell what's what. Let me see if I can take, honestly, let me see if a refer brush might work, or I'm trying to figure out what brush I want to use for this. I have so many brushes. I'm gonna go in with the refer brush. This is the 04 brush. I'm gonna take some from the back of my hand. Ooh, wait a minute. It's kind of like moussey. I'm just hoping that it spreads evenly. Because I don't know, with some moussey products, they don't, you know, spread evenly and become patchy for me. So I don't know. So I'm kind of glad I did put it on the back of my hand first. Okay, this is a nice, pretty, muted mauve-ish pink purple shade. Okay. Okay, so far it looked like it was getting patchy, but now honestly I can't really tell. This is more on the matte side for sure. And I don't know if I want to then go in with it just directly, because I feel like putting it on the back of my hand kind of just made it less pigmented, I want to say. Like, I don't know. So we're just gonna go for it and see if this helps it more. Okay, it does even out, and yeah, it definitely is matte and kind of blurring. Put some more on. Okay, that's interesting. This formula. I wonder if they're gonna make more of these or if they have already. Because I think this was in the Devour collection. It was in one of their collections that I have. But like I said, like the new packaging that they came out with that look exactly like, the regular packaging that all of their lip glosses look like. Now they're also the packaging of their highlighters and their blushes, and it's just like everything looks the same, and it's honestly confusing unless you don't put it directly on the packaging that says like, hey, unearthly blush or unearthly highlighter. The only reason why I found this is because it was in my lip gloss collection of other unearthly glosses and lip oils that look exactly like this. And I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't look like a lip oil or a lip gloss. And then I turned it and it said blush. I was like, sometimes I'd be hiding stuff from my own self in my collection. Because this is honestly pretty good. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's, I would prefer like maybe a different kind of formula, but because it's just like, I feel like you have to put on more in order for you to like really get the pigmentation that you want. But there's that. So I'm done with the cream bronzer. I'm done with the blush. And see, yeah, it was the packaging, because what is this? What is this? What is that? Like what? That's just too much. That's too extra. All right, moving on to the newer products in my collection, which is this. I'm gonna go off with the maybe the bronzer first and then the blush. And let's see if this is close enough to Hourglass. I don't know. All right, so this is what it looks like. It's giving that marble, pan that Hourglass normally does. I see some golden shimmers. It's already shining when, I'm, moving it around. So I have a feeling it's going to be more shimmery and glittery and not that soft glow that Hourglass normally gives you. Like, I feel like I can already tell. But you know what, let's see. It is definitely powdery, but so is, some of Hourglass formulas can be powder too, but this might be a little bit too powdery. But you know what, let's just see. All right, I'm gonna go in like so. Yeah, this is definitely giving glitter for sure. Like very shiny. It's very shiny. It's not like a soft glow that Hourglass gives you. So I don't think this is a dupe. It's not, I don't even think it's like close enough. I mean, that feels more highlighter type of aesthetic than like, soft glow from within kind of like bronzer and blush that they normally do in Hourglass formulations. It's just giving a lot of sheen, and then I also see golden sparkles coming out from the formula. You can kind of like see it here. Yeah, I Yeah, I'm glad that I also put on cream bronzer beforehand, because I don't think I would want to put this over my face, if I'm going to be honest with you. But then again, I don't know if I can tell with the bronzer. I mean, I guess just slightly, you know, I do see a tint. But I was going to say, like, I don't know if I see that it's, like, made for my complexion. And I think the shimmers are throwing it off because it's very shimmer heavy. And yeah, like Hourglass, their powders are more softer. With this one, you still can kind of tell that, you know, there's like some sparkles. It's kind of like a very glowy bronzer. All right, let's try the blush now that we are done with the bronzer. I don't know if I honestly like that. I might need to play around with it some more, but I didn't really like that bronzer. So yeah, let me wipe my brush down, and I'm gonna take the same brush. And so again, this is what it looks like. You have that marble type of finish in the pan. Definitely see some sparkles coming into when you flip it around like so. You can kind of see it through the light that it's definitely some shine there. So I'm gonna go in like so. And you know, let's just see how this looks. I like the blush more than the bronzer. It's not as shiny as the bronzer. Like, I can really see the shine, and that is coming from the bronzer, especially that golden shine, versus this shine up top. The bronzer is much, much more shiny. And I don't know, it kind of makes it look just a little bit tacky to me. I don't know. It just doesn't look right. But I do love the blush though. I think you can get away with it a lot more if it was in like a blush formula versus like a bronzer. And it's also, the intensity is not like the Made by Mitchell's, I think they're called bronze pods or something like that. It's also not like that. And that is something that I would probably put on top of a bronzer or a blush instead of using it as a bronzer by itself as well, the Made by Mitchell formula. And I think the same thing will also go for the bronzer. It's just, yeah, the CoverGirl bronzer, I mean, they did their best with this, but yeah, I'll probably use it for something else in the process, but I wouldn't use it as like an overall like bronzer. Definitely would go in with like a regular bronzer, and then maybe go on and use this on top. But yeah, this is not an Hourglass dupe. And like the blush isn't really it either. It's like a little bit close, but not yet quite close enough to be a dupe for the Hourglass. But I think the blush is my favorite. I think the bronzer you can kind of skip. You can skip on the bronzer. It's definitely giving a lot of sheen and a lot of shine and shimmer. But yeah, so that's now done. All right. I think because it has like some shine to it, I'm gonna go back in. I'm just gonna put some blush on my nose, just like that. Just a tad bit. And now we can then, I guess, move on with either the lips or the eyeshadow palette. And I still don't know what lip I want to use, but I went back in my stash and I found my Makeup by Mario lip glosses. So this is one of the glosses I was really obsessed with when they first came out. This is the Pro Volume Lip Gloss in Rose Nude. And then I have another one which looks like this. And this one is in Mauve Nude. So I don't know, maybe I'll go in with the Rose Nude, or I'll do mauve because I feel like I'm wearing a little bit of just a tad bit of like the you kind of, you know. So that's what I'm probably going to do. And I'm debating if I want to go back in with the Juvia's Place lip liners or the Fashion Fair lip liner. I wonder how that would look with the Fashion Fair lip liner in Vivid Violet. So, you know, let's do that real quick. Let's do a lip real quick. One thing I will have to say about like pencil lip liners is that when you draw it from the side, it's like really good if you do it that way to get like the shape of your lip. But it's just a pain sharpening it. All right, now that that is done, I kind of like Fashion Fair. I also think like even though it's Black History Month, we should be using Black owned products every day. Like at least a combination. You know, y'all should be having some, you know, a little sprinkle of like Fashion Fair, some Fancy Beauty. Listen, she owns 50%. Hey now, you know, Danessa Myricks, you know, Minted. I just put an order in for Minted too, because I am, you know, I definitely need to try out their eyeshadow sticks. So that's one of the things that I got. So that's coming. Ooh. 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 It's coming back to me. Yep. Ooh. And then you see the sparkles too. I need to start going and really digging into my stash. I'd be hiding some good ones. All right, I'm gonna go in with the Dramatic palette first. And this is what it is looking like. So, let's see. Let me read the details for y'all real quick. So, we have the way that it's laid out is we have warm, yellow, rosy, peach, neutral, and cool shades. 3 for 3, and each shade is more of a light, medium, high shine metallics, and medium deep tones. So that's where it gets its name from, being it more dramatic, because of the fact that it has more deeper and mid tones, and there's a lot more metallics and shimmers here in the dramatic palette versus the soft palette, which you don't really have a ton in that one. You maybe have like maybe one or two, and they're not as like shiny. Like, you know, I say like maybe like a satin, or at least maybe there might be just a little sun, but the majority of them are, yeah, you have the majority of them are, so you have 8 silky mattes, 7 slip cream mattes, and 3 satin metallic eyeshadows. And that's about it in the soft palette. In this palette, you have a lot more. So you have a silky matte, a slip cream matte, and a creamy matte formulas that are in here. But you also have a middle row which showcases the high shine metallic and sparkling foil eyeshadow formula that Natasha Denona has. And this is, I think all are supposed to be catered to light and deep skin tones, because this is what it says for the dramatic one, and this is also what it says for the soft one. It's for fair to dark skin tones. So I'm trying the dramatic palette first, just because, like, you know how I always go and do Grudge. I love how they also include in here like a card, and it kind of, you know, shows you how the rows are lined up, the basically the, I guess, the number of it, because it goes by numbers, and then also how to kind of like use the shades to give you more of like a eyeshadow look, which, you know, we don't really follow that. We didn't really follow that in the other palette that Natasha Denona came out with, which was it Soft Glam? I feel like, was it Soft Glam or was it something else? I'm back. I found it. It was the Glam palette. It was the Glam palette that she kind of started off with, like, hey, here's how you use the shades to create your looks, and name them after like what their intended purpose was. Like you have center eyelid, you have outer eyelid, and it's like, Natasha, come on now, like, let us be original. Let us figure it out, Natasha Denona. That's one thing that I didn't like about the Glam palette, was that like the shades could have been better, like better named. You know, we don't need all that. Like, we know you're a makeup artist, Natasha Denona. We love you for that. But at the same time, it's like, let me cook. let me play with the palette how I want to play it. So I don't know. I'm just glad it's numbers and not like a lash line shade or like outer lid. Like, that was so, honestly, it was so annoying. I'm not even gonna hold you. It was so annoying. I think that's probably why she didn't name it that way, and just named it by like kind of like, I guess you can say the undertone of the shade. So like for warm, it's W123, and for yellow, it's like, you know, Y123, and then etc, etc. But pretty much this is what the palette is looking like, right? Which, I mean, I don't think I need any more neutral eyeshadow palette color stories, because I mean, this is all you really need, if I'm gonna be honest with you. But it also has, you know, the little holes in the back, so you can rearrange them however you like. I will not be doing that, but it's nice that she has this, as always. And you know, we're just gonna get started on a look. You know, we're just gonna get started on this look, and see what look I come up with. All right, I'm back. I just primed my eyelids. I always use the NYX eyeshadow primer or the MAC paint pot. Those are the two eyeshadow primers that I tend to go for. I'm thinking I kind of want to go in with W1, which is this shade here. And then maybe either in the 3 to deepen up the crease, which is this shade here. And I definitely want to try either C2 or P2, which are more of, you know, the metallics in the eyeshadow palette. So yeah, I hope you guys do not hear Tigress right now. But yeah, I'm gonna start using W1 and I'm gonna start adding it to the crease and then blending it out to also use this as a more of a transitional shade, like so. I'm using the Refer brush in 14 Max. And we're just going to do just that. I will have to say, with Natasha Denona's formula, like, I feel like, at least for me, by far one of my favorite formulas. And on top of that, I also feel like, you know, most of the looks that I come out with when I'm using her palettes, like, I feel like their formula, it's kind of mistake proof, just a tad bit, especially if you're using a Refer brush. It's definitely mistake proof and easy to blend, easy to build. It's very soft. So I think for me, like, I knew I was definitely going to get this palette. And I'm glad that Natasha Denona is in Ulta, because I could use my points. Because let me just say, when it was available in Ulta online, I had me some points. You know that I only paid. It's like, I don't know if this might piss people off because I just use like so many points. But this, so like, so one palette, I used my points to the point where it was like 12 bucks. And the other palette, I used my other points that I had left over and I ended up paying it for 34. Listen, I had points. I'm not going to really use it. This is, you know, a palette that I really wanted, but I was like, I don't know about them price. I'm about to use some of them points, you know. I was like, I could wait. I don't need to get it now on the website. You know how they do the, you know, you could pre-order on the website. I was like, I'll see you in Ulta. I will get it in Ulta. And that's exactly what I did. And I saved. Listen, I saved, you know. The amount of palettes I already have, shoot, I better save. So, yeah, I only paid that much using my points in Ulta. I don't know. Also, I heard the news about Tom Ford being in Ulta, and I'm like, is it like the makeup, like the, you know, the makeup brand that's like, you know, their eyeshadow palettes be costing like a Natasha Denona palette, and you get less shades type of Tom Ford. Yo, people gonna be using 8 points like crazy. people are going to definitely use their points on Tom Ford. I don't know if that was the move to make. I also don't know why some of these brands are also moving to Ulta. It's because they have like a better like contract. Because like I don't know if you noticed, but when a brand moves into Sephora, there's a portion that they take. You know, like it's not like direct to consumer like how they do online with like indie brands, how it's just direct to consumer, and like that's how you don't gotta really pay, you know, a retailer to just have a shelf up for you at a location where you know you get like foot traffic and all that stuff. When you do that, and let's say it's a Sephora or Ulta, they do take a cut. And so I'm wondering if Sephora takes more of a bigger cut, because you see other brands moving out of Ulta. I mean, moving out of Sephora, like you see, is it Simi Hayes Beauty? Their stuff is on sale. They're leaving out, and I don't know exactly where they're going, but they're basically moving out of Sephora. You have Rose Inc., where they have some stuff on sale still, and some of the stuff you can't really find that's under Rose Inc., so they might be also moving out of Sephora. And then you have some One Size, where it's like, it's either they're getting rid of the products and they're going to replace it with something else, but you already see like their concealer and their foundation and their trio bronzers are on sale and they're not being restocked online. So you have that. And then you have Melt too, which, you know, Melt was like one of like the big indie brands to like go into, you know, Ulta during that time, because they did really well during doing like direct to consumer, just using their, you know, website to facilitate their orders and to ship them and things like that. And then when they got into Sephora, it was kind of like a mix, because one, none of their formulas stayed the same, especially when it came down to the eyeshadow palettes. So none of their formulas were consistent. And then you're trying to maintain brand loyalty, you know, people who don't mind, you know, putting in an order online to get like an eyeshadow palette or a blush and what have you not. And then you have, you know, where you have store shoppers in Sephora who are looking for a specific thing. And so you're trying to cater to each like audience, and also try to maintain like, you know, I guess you could say the quality of your products coming in and things like that, and being innovative and coming out with new products. But I guess it didn't really go well with them, because they're moving out of Sephora too. And I think some brands, they think that they're ready and they're not. That's one thing. They think that they're ready to move into Sephora instead of just doing direct to consumer using their website, and they're unable to maintain the demand and keeping with the numbers that Sephora is looking for you to make, because they also take a cut. So not only do you have to pay for, you know, the factory and the packaging and all of these things to facilitate, you know, a product and testing, you know, formulas out and things like that. Now you also have to pay, you know, a retailer to maintain your Sephora shelf, and you don't even know, they could be putting you in the back for all you know. And that's one thing with Sephora, is that things get really busy, and you need something that's going to grab like their attention, because Sephora's can be really packed. And if you're in the store, you kind of already know what you're looking for too. So if you don't know that brand, you're probably going to walk past that brand and go to like Too Faced or Charlotte Tilbury or Rhode. One thing that I will say is that Rhode did a good job waiting it out until they were very, very successful and popular, and like people knew them, and like they were, you know, very much of the hype. they took a while for them to build their brand, maintain their loyal, you know, customers, and still continue to bring in new products. I haven't tried Real Beauty. I'm kind of interested in their blushes, but I'm on a blush no buy. At least I was trying to be. But they didn't move into Sephora right away. You know, they've been a brand for like maybe 5 years, I want to say. Like, I think it's been like 5 years. And then they move into Sephora. And now they got like, I think acquired by Elf too. So it's like they did it the right way. So I don't know what's going on with like these indie brands and their small brands where they move into Sephora way too early, and then they end up not being able to maintain it and leave Sephora. But like, I think Rare Beauty too, like they just went into Ulta and Sephora. So it's like, are they gonna continue to stay in both? Or are they gonna eventually move out because of the contract is too much? I don't know. I'm going through a tangent right now. I'm sorry. I'm trying to, you know, give you guys an eyeshadow tutorial, but like that just got me really curious. And then also, like, how is it gonna benefit the Tom Fords? You know, because like you know, they're gonna be using their points. They will be using their points for some Tom Ford. So I don't know what that's about. But, you know, I guess good luck to them, you know. Good luck to them. I so far love this shade so far. W1. I'm going to now go in with N3 just to deepen up the outer corner just a bit. And I'm just going to drag it like so. And then start blending it out. Yeah, one thing about Natasha Denona is their shades are really, really pigmented and buildable. For sure. Oh, this is nice. I really like that. I really like that a lot. Yeah, this might be a great neutral eyeshadow palette for you to use if you're into neutral looks or you're just in need for a palette. If you are an Ulta shopper, definitely use your points, because that will definitely save you. Okay, this is good enough. All right, now I'm gonna definitely go in with one of the shimmers or foils. Is it? Yeah, they're metallics and sparkly foils. And I'm curious to see which ones. So the creamy, I think these are the, no, those are not. I'm trying to like, I feel like this is Morse code for me. So I'm trying to decipher the numbers that she has like on the shades. Sometimes can give you an indication of what formula it is, but I'm trying to decipher it so bad. But I mean, I guess for SF, I guess that's a foil, and the M is a metallic. Yeah, I think. So the one that I want to use is a foil, which is C2. And then I'm going to go in with, I think, Y2 and do that for the inner corner, which is a metallic. So we're just going to see how this plays out. All right, I'm going to go in with C2. And it looks like this. Interesting, interesting. Let me see. I did put on a glitter primer. Oh, okay. Okay, this is like really sparkly. Wow. Wow. You see those sparkly arclies there? You see those sparkly, dazzly, shimmers? Oh my god, look at those sparkles. Look at that. It has like blue, gold, kind of like, I think I see purple sparklies and glitters. Oh, that looks really nice with the black background of this foil shade. Oh, this is lovely. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, wow. Oh, these are nice. Oh, these are nice, guys. Oh, wow. Look at those sparkles. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Those are lovely. Now those are nice. That's nice. I like that. All right, I kind of want to see if I want to play around with another either metallic or foil. I kind of have to, again, see like which it is. So let me just real quick look at the palette box again. So the one next to it, which I was thinking about going with, and then going in with Y2. So in 2, that's next to C2, which is the one that I just used, which is a foiled shade. In 2 is a metallic. So yeah, we're gonna go in with M2. M2 kind of looks like this. So it's like a brown kind of like metallic. I'm just gonna put that kind of on top just a little bit and then bring it in where the inner corner is at. Like so. It kind of got rid of the whole like other shade that I put on. So let me just bring that back in and put that on top. Those sparkly are, oh my god, those sparkles. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay, look at that. And you're back where you belong. All right, now I'm gonna take a brush for this one to put in my inner corner. So I'm gonna take this brush. It's like from the Sol collection. I'm gonna go in with Y2, which is a metallic. And I'm just gonna tap it in like so. You definitely have to build this up if you're using a brush, or maybe it's the brush that I'm using right now. Let me see if I can find a refer brush for this and then go back in and use a shade. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Let me go in with my refer brush, which I'm cleaning right now. All right, now let's go back in with Y2. Yep, it was the brush. The refer is here to save the day. That's how you can tell the difference between natural hair brush and synthetic brushes, because that wasn't really doing it. I mean, it's a different kind of like type of shape, but still. Look at that. All right, and at this time, since it was taking the other shade away, I'm gonna go in with the refer brush and go in with N2. I'm kind of laying it slightly on top of the first shade that I added. Yeah, that works just fine. Yeah, doing it that way, using a brush. Like so. And then I'm going to then go in with Y2. I love this palette so far in the look that I'm creating right now. Oh, this is nice. This is nice. Okay. Okay, Natasha, we see you. I don't know if I'm going to buy your quads, though. So those are repeat shades. I think you need to do some more innovation. Come up with, you know, newer shades or like formulas or something, to be honest with you. Because I'm not getting that if I already have it. I mean, I guess you can say like, oh, but it would be like a great, you know, travel palette. And it's like, yeah, but her other smaller palettes are too. It's like, stop lying to yourself. All right, this is it, y'all. This is the look. I'm gonna quickly, you know, clean my under eyes a bit, because you definitely do get fallout with the metallics, so be careful with that, and then close out the video. Okay, this is the final look. I just put on mascara. This is what we're looking like. Listen, I like this palette. I'm sorry. I feel like I like pretty much any palette except for the LYS one. That was just not it. I will, if I haven't put that on there, that's definitely on the docket to edit that video. But those eyeshadow palettes was just not it. But other than that, yeah, this palette. This palette right here is stunning, stunning. I can't wait to dip into the rest of the mattes. I might do some more looks with this palette too. Just like 3 separate looks. So like this is like look 1. And then I might do a combination of a look with the soft palette, which a soft palette doesn't really have a lot of those like special shades that Natasha Denona is known for, like metallics and, you know, foils. Which, let me try to open the box so y'all, because I still want you to like see, you know, the color story, you know. But this is the soft palette. It's a lot more softer, right? Where like Dramatic is more on the darker side, with like the clear black and gray brown type of, you know, packaging. This one is more of a softer pink. So that's how you can tell as well the difference between the palettes. This is what the soft one looks like. So there's nothing that you're like really working with when it comes down to like the special shades. Like you just have pretty much, I think those are just satins. I think those are satins. Let me see. Where is the thing? Here it is. Is this it? Yeah. So you have a metallic and I think that's the shimmer. I think 2 shimmers and a metallic. Yeah, I think that's it. And again, Danessa Meyer is trying to tell us how to, come on now, get that out of here. Let me look on the box because that's what it says on the box. Yeah, 1 metallic. Is there another metallic in here? Yeah, 3 satin metallic eyeshadows. And that's it. That's all you get. All right. Well, I will definitely be playing with this palette too. And we'll also use this kind of like as a companion palette with the dramatic palette. But I think this is a nice color story too. So yeah, definitely playing with that. I don't know if there are repeated shades. I feel like there are, but I don't know because Into is definitely different. This is not the Into. I'm like, this is not the Into that I know. But yeah, this is not the Into that's in the other palette. So maybe they are slightly different because I'm also trying to figure out if like the shades kind of like repeat, which I'm not entirely sure. But I'll probably put it in the description box if I find out if they do repeat or if not. I'll be sure to let y'all know in the description box or in this video here. But yeah, this was basically look 2 with the dramatic palette. I had so much fun playing with this palette. I love, you know, when the Natasha Denona does palettes like this, but I honestly don't like when she be trying to tell us how to do, like how to get a look or what shades to use for a specific thing. Because I think when it comes down to makeup, it's very personal, right? Like I pick certain makeup looks that others might not like or might not want to do. And that's fine. It's kind of like how, you know, you have makeup lovers who love a nice little wing and others who don't, or love a nice little big lash, or those who just prefer like putting mascara on their lashes and calling it a day like me. However, I am trying to get into eyelashes. We'll see how it plays out. But that's just the thing, like everyone's style is kind of unique to like their lifestyle and what they like their makeup look to look like. So that whole thing about trying to show people how to use certain shades for specific things doesn't really work with me. I'm going to use the palette the way that I want to use the palette, and that's that. That's one thing that I wish like Natasha Denona would like, you know, move away from. Even though like she is a makeup artist, like it's great. Like Natasha Denona is great if you're trying to learn how to do eyeshadow, but is it, you know, the price point when you're at the beginning of learning, you know, how to do makeup? No. And that's the thing where it's like when I started doing makeup and teaching myself how to do makeup, it was YouTube University and the dollar store and freaking Target, you know, like drugstore brands I would gravitate towards because that fit my lifestyle and that's what I was able to afford. And so looking back now, it's gonna be probably the exact same thing where you have others who are going into makeup they might want to try drugstore brands first before they dip their toes more into like the more high end or, you know, prestige brands, you know, just because it fits their lifestyle and their journey in the moment. So I wish like Natasha Denona would like move away from that, but knowing her, she probably will continue to do palettes like this. But let me know your thoughts. Did you get the palette? I will still do 3 looks and do another video with like the soft palette for sure. And let me know if you're getting her quads, because I'm not. I'm not getting the quads and the repeat shades. Like, you know, the packaging is cute. I think they did the price point because of the packaging though, if I'm not gonna lie, because for repeated shades, and the only thing that's unique to that is the packaging. That's literally it. So I'm skipping on that one. Are you still gonna get the quads? Let me know. And yeah, without further ado, remember to love yourself, be kind to yourself, and love your skin. And I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.